And we are live! Hello, everyone. And for those who will be watching this live, for those who will be tuning in while we are doing this live, and for those who will be watching the replay, thank you so much. And wherever you are right now, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's evening here in the Philippines, and you're watching live from my page, Hazel Giliarte Online, and my profile, Hazel Giliarte. And for those who do not know me yet, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Hazel, a mom of two, a wife, and a proud digital business owner and mentor. I started this business in the US in 2021, and now that I'm back here in the Philippines, I am running it here. I am a doctor by profession who turned full time mom when I moved to the US in 2013. And welcome to the 25th episode of Be Inspired with Hazel. This is my live interview, and this is my way of sharing this amazing business with you, and of course, to inspire you through the stories and the journey of my guest on the show. Yeah, so for tonight, I am so excited to welcome my guest, and she is from the UK. And so, without further ado, let me introduce to you Dr. Suzie Jacob. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Hazel. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, doctor. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, you're welcome, doctor. And as usual, as I would always tell my guest, I am so grateful, honored, and excited to have you on the show. Yeah, so let's start off, doctor, by first, can you tell us who is Susie before coming to this business?
Yeah, sure. So as you've introduced myself, basically, I am a doctor by profession. I'm a general practitioner here in the UK. So by background, I do both clinical work, and I'm also involved in clinical management roles. So I'm also a mom of one beautiful teenager, 15-year-old girl, and married to my husband, who's a chef. And also, of course, I'm a proud digital business owner, just like yourself. So I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Recently, even on my page, I've been having lots of doctors in the business, and
Yeah, I
when I
know.
see a fellow doctor, I get really excited.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. You know what? It's really a great feeling knowing that there's also a lot of doctors in our community, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there is
So
quite a
yeah,
bit.
and that's a segue to my second question, because you know that doctors are very busy. We know that, right? Yeah, we are doctors, we are mom, we are wives, and you really have a hectic schedule. And we know that being a doctor, it's a good paying job, right? Yeah. But why did you start this digital business? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a question which I get asked
A lot of times.
a lot of the time. Yes, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. As a
Mm-hmm.
doctor, I do get paid quite well, but
Mm-hmm.
the reason for me to join the digital business is not for the money; it's for time freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you know rightly, for us to earn money, we need to trade our time for money,
That's right.
and and the cost of living in the Western world is quite high. So you'll be amazed, that your salary goes only so much, and then if you want
Yeah.
to have that, go on that holiday, or I remember locoming and doing all sorts of extra shifts when I was buying my house, because I had to. I needed a big fat deposit down on the
Yeah.
house. So the only way,
Mm-hmm.
because your salary is just about pays about your your rent and your food and all your that
Mm-hmm.
other expenses, insurance, and all those sort of things. So you always need something extra, but that was at a cost. Was mainly spending time away from my daughter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember going back to work full time when she was just 10 months old. I
Mm-hmm.
missed her first steps. My mom actually had to record it when she was taking her first step so
Yeah.
that I could see. I was doing night shifts at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can
Mm-hmm.
remember coming back and just crying, being a horrible mom,
Yeah.
hair and things like that. And because I always worked full time, like when she was younger, I had a live-in nanny in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely had no idea what she was doing in school. The nanny knew my daughter's friends and their moms more than me.
That's
I
right. Yeah.
because you after your night shift and everything, because I used to be a medic before becoming a
Mm-hmm.
GP, so I used to do a lot of nights and things like that. And you're in a daze. After your nights, you're just in a complete daze, and then you're ready for the next shift, isn't it? So that's
Yeah,
how
that's
I
right.
work. And then you work weekends, um, and things like that. And there was another time, what happened during the pandemic, my husband lost his job.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly lost his job. It was an unfortunate event. It was like he was moving from one job to the other, and the new job was supposed to start the week when the lockdown started. So obviously, he didn't join his job, and he was not entitled to the furlough scheme because he was not in any job.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, in the UK, the government was paying about 80% of the salary if you couldn't go for work. So that meant, like, during the pandemic, I was the sole breadwinner. I worked extra shifts, just to make sure my family was comfortable. But there was always, it was a very scary time because you didn't know whether you'd catch the virus, whether
Mm-hmm.
you'd bring the virus back home, and I was working more hours. And that and a lot of friends, a lot of family members, and all caught COVID. I am one of the things I do in the community is I'm an expert as champion for long COVID. So I bridge the primary care and secondary care, and I have still patients who had COVID in March 2020 and still
Mm-hmm.
suffering from the effects of long COVID. They've lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihood,
Yeah.
and they've lost their identity. So that was a real eye opener for me. One thing was, what if I was in that position and I'm the main breadwinner of the family? That means we would lose the house, we lose
Yeah.
everything, isn't it? It was a very, very
That's
scary
right.
thought. And
Mm-hmm.
that made me realize, no, we have to think of a plan B, where you would get some kind of income even if you're not working. And that's what
That's
this
right.
business has done for me. Like, now we both are chatting, but our business is running in the background because we have an automated system and we
Yeah.
get paid.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely brilliant. And am I still working as a GP? Yes, I am, because I love doing that. But I have managed to cut down from July. I've been cut down a couple of sessions, planning to cut down further in January and go part time. And that's after I've worked full time all my life, so it feels even funny to say I'm going part time.
Wow, that's really an amazing results in the business, doctor. You know what? I felt the same when this COVID came. You know, I am a doctor also who turned full time mom, and during that time, we were sending help back here in the Philippines, and I noticed that our small savings is getting smaller and smaller, and then we cannot replenish it. So I told myself, this cannot be. This cannot be. It's either we stop helping and save the small savings that we have for our
Yeah,
family, or continue helping and nothing will be left for us.
yeah,
But I said I want to do both. I want to help and at the
yeah,
same time help my husband.
yeah,
So I that was a turning point for me to really put that thought into action of working even if not a doctor. So I said, and I also think of the scenario wherein what if my husband gets sick, what if my husband lost his job. So I said this time I should really look for something I can do from home, and earn. So that's why I started this business. And going back to my experience as a doctor, Dr. Susie, as a doctor also, if we don't work, then we don't earn, right? It's the same thing,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, so this business is really amazing because, as you've said, even if you're not working, then you get to earn, right? Yeah, and that is the amazing part of this business because we are earning passive income. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing, Doctor.
No worries.
And as busy as you are, how do you manage your business? Yeah. But before that, Doctor, what is in the business that you really like? Why you started this? Yeah. What's in the
Yeah, what
business?
I like is the flexibility, because
Mm-hmm.
prior to this, I have done other businesses, but what I like about this business is the flexibility. For instance, I've done a bit of property, and but property is, there's a fixed time, like the realtors or
Mm-hmm.
estate agents, as we call here in the UK. They work from maybe 9 to 6 or 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I work during that hours. I can't, I used to take annual leave to go view properties and, make deals and things like that. And so it sounds even ridiculous now that I had to take annual leave to do all that. I've not
Mm-hmm.
taken annual leave for the business because the business works around my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I can I do a few, about 15 minutes before going to work. In between lunch break, I do a bit. I come back home again, do a bit. So I use pockets of time during the day, and there's no fixed time. Now one day I'm really tired, or so there's an emergency at home, I don't need to work because there's
Mm-hmm.
already, I've put systems in place that it's working in the background for me. So it really works around my busy lifestyle. And how do I find time? I was just reading a statistics that on an average, people spend 2.5 hours a day on scrolling on social media.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
just that I've made a choice that instead of scrolling, I'm using that time to monetize through social media. That's
Mhm.
the only difference. Don't get me wrong, I still scroll, I still see and enjoy things, but I am
Yeah.
quite mindful now that I don't do it quite a lot aimlessly. And instead
Mhm.
of that, I use social media for a purpose, and I use it for
Mhm.
to monetize, and that's the only difference.
Yeah. That's the thing we say, scroll and earn, right? Yeah, scroll and earn. So thank you so much, Doctor. And as to the flexibility, that's really what I like also in this business because I'm a full-time mom. So even if I'm busy with my chores or with my kids, the business is running in the background. So flexible and really doable, and we just need a cell phone. Everything can be done with our cell phone, right? Or a laptop, as long as there is a, Wi-Fi or internet connection, then we're good to go. Yeah. So, Doctor, so far, I think you've already mentioned some of those. What are the benefits this business has given you?
For me, it's the main thing
Yeah.
is the time freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, me and my husband has made a conscious effort and decision, really, that we don't want to work weekends. So he's also cut back quite a bit, and we are even thinking of him, because a chef is when you think about it, it's he's getting older, so it's more of a
Mm-hmm.
young man's job. The hours
Yeah.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think eventually he will completely cut down, and then things like that. I want to continue, and that's my decision,
Mm-hmm.
because I love what I do. But for him, I
Yeah.
think the hours are getting too much. So now it's
Mm-hmm.
so we are very choosy and picky of what he does, and the business has allowed that. There was a time when we couldn't afford to do that. Because the thing is,
Mhm.
my salary covers all the bills, and
Mhm.
his was the one, like, if there was things break down, unfortunately, whether we like it or not. So for the emergency cover,
Yeah.
and maybe a bit
Mhm.
of the holiday, something
Mhm.
like that, his pay was that for meant for that. So but if his pay is not there, it means we are really tight.
Yeah.
or I have to do a lot of extra shifts. So, but now I'm not bothered. So we actually we go out around the country every weekend now.
Mhm. That's good. Yeah.
We spend every weekend now somewhere traveling somewhere, and we are loving it. We are loving it. And like for all the years I spent as in my youth studying, and like you spend our
Mhm.
youth studying,
Yeah.
earning the
So
midnight
many
oil and
years.
things like that. Now I feel like I'm getting those times
Mhm.
back, to
Mhm.
travel. That's the main thing. And my daughter is becoming big and she's becoming independent. She'll turn
Yeah.
16 next year.
Mhm.
She doesn't need me as much now. So
That's right. Yeah.
me and my husband can travel as much as we want to. And
Mhm.
that's the main thing. For me, it's the time, because obviously I can earn money as a doctor, but I can
Mhm.
never get that time.
Correct.
For
Correct.
me, I think that's the crux for me, really. It's
Yeah.
the time freedom that it has given. And as you have told, for the past 2 months, I've cut down from 10 sessions to 8 sessions.
Mhm.
I'm planning to cut down further in January. So, and my husband's cut down. So we've all cut down quite a
Mhm.
bit, and we're still able to manage our lifestyle as we had
Yeah.
previously. And it's just getting back better, because
Yeah. That's right.
as we grow in the business, our returns are even higher.
Yeah, that is really true, and that is really possible. There's nothing impossible here in this business, and really the sky is the limit
Yeah,
as to what we can earn from this business. Yeah, and doctor, that this is the reason why we are so passionate about sharing this amazing business, because not all people realize that there's a smarter way to earn, right? Yeah,
yeah,
because we were trained, we were taught at school that you graduate and then you find a job and then you get promoted like that. So it's just work and work and work, but that you can only earn if you work. But there's a smarter way of earning that you don't have really to work hard,
yeah.
and you can earn even more,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
few years ago during COVID, if anyone said that I could earn like I have a couple of jobs. So, working an hour, I've crossed one of my jobs,
Mhm.
like, earning in a month.
Mhm.
So, so, if anyone had said like I could get that much by working an hour a day, I wouldn't believe you. But because now I see it, I can
Yeah.
believe it, and now sky's the limit, and it's just getting better and better.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's really really amazing what this business has been a life. It's
Changing.
changed my life.
Yeah.
It really changed my life. It's changed my life.
That's
It's
right.
changed my perspective about life.
Mhm.
And yeah, and this is what it needs to be. And like what you said, like, you shouldn't be having a choice to make a decision, or
Mhm.
choose between saving for yourself or giving to your family members, because the thing is, you if you stop doing that, you kind of lose purpose and meaning to
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
it's those sort of things, giving to people you love, giving to charity, giving to your church, those things, and giving your time and money, is that gets it gives meaning and purpose to each of our lives. So if
That's
we
right.
stop doing that because we can't afford, because of inflation, then
Mhm.
we stop, life starts losing its meaning, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And I also realized then that we can only give more if we have more. And as they say, we cannot give what we don't have, right? Yeah. And that is one amazing feature of this business, that we business owners here are not only here for money, we are here for a purpose, for a bigger and higher purpose, and that is time freedom, and of course to help other people through this business. Yeah. And yeah, so thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing your journey with us. You are so inspiring, and I pray sooner I will be back to my practice.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why people say, okay, you earn so much, then why? I am a doctor because I love doing that. I don't
Yeah,
think I could completely. I will cut down, but I don't think
yeah, that's
I can
right.
completely. I don't feel like I love doing what I do, so I wouldn't,
Yeah.
completely stop doing what I do. But
Yeah.
it's a big difference when you do what you love because you love it rather than for the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
And
that's
there was
right.
a point in my life where, I was like, I became a doctor because I wanted to serve, I wanted to help.
Mm-hmm.
But then now I'm actually working because I need to pay the bills. It's a
Yeah.
big difference when you do
Mm-hmm.
it for because you love it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and rather than just for to pay the bills. It's a big
Yeah.
difference, and that's what this business has, given me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me too, and I think mostly of the business owners here, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Doctor. We have one viewer right now, so thank you so much. And for those who will be watching the replay of our video, thank you so much as well. So at this point, Doc Susie, I just would like to invite our viewers to watch our free webinar. So we have a free webinar every Tuesday and Thursday. That's 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And in the UK, that's early morning, right?
No, it's 1 p.m. So you generally I tell people to get in touch from me, get in touch with me, contact with
Yeah,
me on my page or my personal page,
yeah,
and I'll give them the link. So obviously you can
yeah,
watch it on demand. That's how I watched.
yeah,
I didn't sit up
yeah,
at 1 o'clock to watch it.
yeah,
I
that's
watched
right.
it on demand actually.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
everyone in the UK does. We all watch it on demand because
yeah,
it's too late.
yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah, that's right. We always have the replay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have the
Yeah.
replay,
So
so
yeah.
it's
So
always there on demand in the
yeah,
UK.
on their at their convenience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in here in the Philippines, it's 8 o'clock in the morning every
Oh,
Wednesday and Friday. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you are interested to learn more about this business, watch our free webinar. You can reach out to me or to Dr. Susie, so that we will send you the link to watch the replay or register on our website. Yeah. Would you like to mention your website, Doctor?
Yeah, it's www.jfjdigispark.com.
Yeah. And mine is
That's why I usually
www.
say just, if wherever you see me, just send me a direct message. I'll be happy to help
Yeah,
you with that.
that's right. And mine is www.hazelgiliarteonline.com. Yeah. So, lastly, Doctor, your words of advice, please, for our fence sitters, whether they are leads or they've already took the first step. Yeah. What would be your advice?
Well, there's no better time than this. Like as I've mentioned already, people spend 2.5 hours just scrolling. Why don't you use that time to monetize the
Mhm.
social media rather than just scrolling with no aim? And believe me, 1 hour a day is more than enough to change your life completely. It has changed my life. That's why I know. I am talking from not like seeing other people's testimonies. I'm talking from my own life. I've earned more than what I earn in my job. So and that too as a GP. So I obviously without any specific amounts, but I guess most people can
Yeah.
understand what that means.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to try out our our program. It's completely free for the 30 days, and then if you look at it and you feel, well, this is not for me, absolutely fine, because you've given a try. And there are so many other ways to earn online. We're not saying this is the only way, but why don't you try this out and see whether this suits you? It does suit busy professionals like ourselves, like doctors like ourselves. There's lots of doctors, lawyers, engineers, you know in doing this business, and people who do shift work. Everyone does it. From We have truck drivers,
From
plumbers,
all walks of
electricians,
life.
chefs. Yeah, we have
Construction
lots of people
workers.
doing the business.
Yeah.
So why not give it a try? A lot of people in We have a community of over 174,000 people,
Yeah.
the fastest growing community in the internet. So
Yeah.
you can come and check us out to find out why is that the case.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, thank you so much, Doctor. And before we leave, I just would like to leave this quote to our audience. So, excuses are a powerful thing. One excuse can negate 100 opportunities. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, drop that excuses and check this business out, and you will not lose anything here because our webinar is free. And if you want to learn more, you can proceed to the next step, and you have a 30 days to see if this is for you or not. Yeah. So thank you so much everyone for watching, and Dr. Susie, thank you so much again for gracing this interview. And yeah, so until next time, you take care and God
Bye for
bless.
now. Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
for now.